I always thought about harming myself.
I'm shy. I struggled with making friends.
I never thought I could do anything. I have extremely low self esteem.
Lately, I've been eating my pain away. Just throw it back up. I've been struggling to lose weight. Somebody said I don't fit in just because I wear my hair the way I like it.
1 out of 5 American girls suffer from mental health problems. Don't be that girl. Talk to someone.
Those thoughts I had are long gone, for I have a future I need to get to.
In order to get better, I had to do better. I learned how to make friends.
I believe in myself. That's when everyone else did, I set an example.
Instead of me eating everything, I started watching my calories. The weight is falling off. I went to change my hair, but I decided it was for me. It's for me.
A PSA from the Curvy Girl Project.
Morning. Welcome to Expose Under the Sun, sponsored by the Detroit Native Sun newspaper. I'm your host. And I just want to say that we are streaming live today. And our call-in numbers are 313-868-0342, 313-868-0351, 313-868-4336. Website is www.tv33whpr.com, and you're watching us live from the phenomenal cities of Detroit, Michigan, under the auspices of the Honorable Mayor Mike Duggan, as well as the phenomenal city of Highland Park, Michigan, under the auspices of the Honorable Mayor Glenda McDonald. But before we get started, as you may be able to see, we've got a full set here. I'm surrounded by all these beautiful ladies, and I just want to allow them to go and get a chance to go and introduce themselves to you. And just to my right, this is the lovely Miss Vicki Dobbins, or the lady that everybody knows when she flashes her ring and she shows that she is from River Rouge, and she's so proud of the River Rouge football team and the basketball team and all the teams that represent River Rouge. But she is also the Bachelor and the Bachelorette, and she's got an announcement she wants to tell you about an upcoming event that she has coming up. Vicki.
Good morning. My name is Vicki Dobbins, and yes, I'm an author. I wrote a book. It's called The Bachelor and the Bachelorette. Please think about buying this. $18.99 on Amazon or Barnes & Noble, or you can call me, Vicki Dobbins, for your copy. Also, we got so excited about The Bachelor and Bachelorette, we decided to have a party. This is an event. This is a mix and mingle for the bachelors and the bachelorettes, or anyone who wants to dance, ballroom, or step. My name is Vicki Dobbins. Our party is at Black's Place at 2711 Schaefer on November 11th, 2023 at 7 o'clock in the evening. Come out, let's have fun, enjoy The Bachelor and the Bachelorette.
All right. And then to my other right is also the lovely Miss Ruby Richards, and she is the Secretary Extraordinaire for Western Wayne County NAACP.
Good morning, Expose Under the Sun. I am so glad to be here. Thank you.
Well, we are so glad to have you both, and I'm glad that you came to support our other special guest, Miss Kimberly Clemens. Yes. But right now, I will let you two go, and I appreciate you both coming, but I'm going to turn it over to Silent Storm.
Thank you. Good morning. It is Chief Silent Storm, and I'm glad to be here. I just wanted to say our Lions won, so we have to give them acknowledgement.
See, I wish I had 6 fingers I could put on one hand and do 6 and 2, but Just imagine I got another finger up here.
Yes. So we have Kimberly Clemens here with us today, and we'll be talking about domestic violence and more. That's something that I've personally dealt with, so that's going to be quite a conversation for us. Real quick, I just want to make mention that on November 4th at 11 a.m., there's a press conference for Urban Solutions in Full and Fabulous, so you don't want to miss that. The young women will be focused on Girls and Women United for Safety. Join us to discuss safety tips for our youth. They'll be getting whistles and going over safety because we're sick and tired of our women and young women going missing. So you don't want to miss that. Again, it is November 4th, 2023 at 11 a.m. Sharon Dumas is our good close friend, so you want to definitely go and support.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, we are very, very fortunate to have a young lady with us in the audience today, and her name is Miss Kimberly Clemens, and she wears so many different hats, and it's too numerous to mention. But Kimberly, thank you. Welcome to
Yes,
Expose Under the
welcome.
Sun.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, tell us a little bit about, in terms of, say now, you've got a testimony that you'd like to give to us about your upbringing. Can you share a little bit of that with us?
Yes, so I am Kimberly Clemens, and I do wear many, many hats, and I do thank God for that because He's gifted me with the grace to do what I do. But I have a past. I'm a child survivor of domestic violence, live in a home of domestic violence, and I'm a survivor of child sexual abuse. And my passion today, it comes from what I come from. And I know that there are so many women who have a past of abuse, and so many women that are currently living in it. God has opened up some opportunities for me to be able to share my testimony and be able to help those that are in it, and even help those children. That's where my heart is, really, is with the women and the children. It's so important that we not hold on to what happened to us in our past. We have to work through it. We have to journey through it. We have to be healed because there are so many people that are dealing with it.
Mm-hmm.
Tell a little bit about, just before I turn it over to Silent Storm, but tell a little bit in terms of about what is the sexual abuse or the child abuse or the domestic violence. Kind of differentiate between those.
Well, it's all violence. You know, it's all abuse. It's
So
all
violence is the common denominator between the three.
Yep, and domestic means that it happens within the home. It happens, within family. And unfortunately, it's still something that we don't talk about. We try to work through it in our minds by suppressing it, not talking about it, being ashamed of it, being embarrassed by it. And then we find that we repeat that cycle in one way, shape, or form, whether it's a family member that's going through and then we tell them not to talk about it, or it's another friend or another woman that we know, we judge them and we put them down, or we act like we don't know what's going on. So that there are many different things that happen when it comes to abuse, whether it happened to you as a child, as an adult. It's still wrong. It's still not good. It's still something that is not talked about in families. So even though there are different categories, it's all abuse.
Mm-hmm. I think that's interesting that you said it like that. And thank you for actually being a voice and allowing God to use you, because a lot of us want to. I'm a domestic violence survivor, and I did go through sexual abuse as well. And so for our voices to be heard, it may help someone else. So thank you for sharing that and being that light for someone else that might be going through it or who have gone through it, and just allowing yourself to be transparent with it, because I feel like it is a taboo subject and it needs to be more talked about.
Absolutely.
So yes, thank you for talking about that. Do you want to talk about your organization and how that all came about?
Oh, absolutely.
Because I know it's a calling. You know, this is a calling. People go
Yeah.
through something, and then it's used to be that blueprint to help someone else. That's usually pain into purpose, and you made it a business. So
Absolutely. So my nonprofit is The Girls Factory. My website is IamTheGirlsFactory.org.
okay.
And what we do is we build girls up to have confidence and self-esteem. That's the core of what we do. I found when I was young, going through the domestic violence, watching it and then being sexually abused, I had low self-esteem. I had no confidence. And I feel like if I would have had that, despite what I was going through, I would have, not made some of the bad decisions that I made as an adult. But the Girls Factory, we work with young ladies living in underserved communities.
Okay.
And we take the young girls in, we build them up, we empower them. We also teach them life skills such as cooking. We partner with women, positive women in the community like yourself, someone that has overcome challenges, because we want our girls to know that no matter what you go through, you can still be successful. You can still have a genuine smile from the inside out. We want girls to know that they can speak up about it. They don't have to hold it in like I did.
Yeah, like I did as well.
Yeah, I didn't talk about it until I was 35 years old. And it wasn't something that I was taught. I knew it was wrong. I just didn't know how to talk about it.
Sure.
So we take the young ladies in and we allow them to be young girls, allow them to have a little girl life, because I didn't have that, and then we make sure that they know that they can speak to any one of us. And then we give them people that they can trust and that they can share, what's on their heart. So we do a lot with the girls in the community. Teaching them how important it is to read, how important it is to do your finances, have them in order, and to know that you're not alone.
That's the most important
Really
piece.
important, yes.
I love that. I wish I would have had something like that when,
Absolutely, me too.
Yeah. So it's
too.
important for us to come back and to pour into our youth because we went through so much. So just them connecting and having that network will make all the difference. So
Absolutely.
I love that for you. How can someone get to be a part of your organization?
So
if
they
they're interested?
they can reach out to me through the website, which is iamthegirlsfactory.org.
Okay.
Or they can email me, iamthegirlsfactory@gmail.com.
Okay.
Or they can contact me, 734-286-5979.
Okay. Nice.
So, Kimberly, talk about now when you were younger, and Suzanne, when you were younger too, what are some of the other resources that somebody can go to in terms of, say, if they know that if something is going on in the household, like with a relative or, with a close family member, what should they do in terms of, say, what are the steps that they could do? Because in some cases, you may have people that won't believe them.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
a lot.
Oh, yeah. And, that everything you just said, there's different parts to what
Different
you
tiers.
just said.
Okay.
So as a child, when I look back as a child living in it, I wasn't empowered to talk to anybody. I was taught what goes on in your house stays
Stay
in
there.
your house. I couldn't even talk to my siblings. I didn't know to do that. I knew it was wrong, but I didn't know that it was okay. And then I became the protector of my abuser. So
What does that explain that?
It means that, okay, I don't want him to get in trouble, or I don't want something bad to happen to him, because then it's going to tear our family apart. Well, our family is already being torn apart, on the inside. So with my mind as a child, I didn't fully, grasp the concept of what family really is. It's already, like some trouble. But in my mind, it was like, oh, it'll be more trouble if I speak up. So I suffered. I made the decision for myself to suffer so that nobody else would be in trouble. And then as a child, I never read or saw a poster on the back of a bathroom stall that said, hey, if you're in this, or I never had a tract that said, here's a telephone number to call, or I never heard conversations from other women or other families, or even, family members saying, hey, if you're going through this. But that's what happens now. There are so many organizations that are doing the work. I'm never one to say, well, I don't know who's doing it. I do know who's doing it.
For sure.
There's organizations that are doing it for women. There's organizations like SAS. That's Dr. LaDonna Combs. She's doing it for women. There's Sherry Ware. She's doing it, still standing for women. Sherry Ware is also doing it for the men. You know, she has a program called Redeemed. She works with those that batter. So there are programs out there for us. There's shelters out there. You know, as a kid, I thought about, okay, well, what's going to happen to us if I speak up? All the kids will be scattered. Okay, well, now there are shelters out there. Now, we do need more resources. We do need more people to step in and be available to be a blessing or, you know, a resource. But there's so much more today than we did have back then. I want to say I'm also a chaplain now for Detroit Police Department. I'm a proud chaplain. At one time as a kid, I was very afraid of the police. Back in the day when my parents were abusing one another, I would see the police just knock on our door, come in, grab my mom, and just pull her out. As a kid, I didn't understand what the police role was. I didn't understand what was happening. But what I saw was, okay, the police are bad. You know, they're dragging my mom out. But now that I'm older, they were just doing what they were called to do, right. You know. But now the police have a lot of training now. They are getting the resources to give out. The police are advocates for family. So it's not that the police are bad. It's when we call them to do something, we can't expect them to do it the way we want to do it.
Sure.
So then that's where us being non-judgmental as an adult today, when I see a woman that's going through it, and not just women go through it, we always want to make sure that we know that there are men that go through it also. But today, when the police are coming, you know, we want to make sure that there are things in place where the person that's being abused, they get to have their peace, getting ready to say what they need to say, not in front of the abuser. But we can't judge that person if they decide to stay, if they decide to go back. We have to be available, you know, for them to be heard, or however we can help. That's not putting ourselves in harm's way,
Sure.
and even not putting them in harm's way. We got to make sure that we're available as best as we can be.
Because, you know, it's interesting because the children also are victims, even though they may not have been touched physically, but they're touched mentally.
It's trauma. Like when you're exposed to that type of abuse, when you're seeing it, it shapes your thinking. You know, whether it's low self-esteem or you may become a person who abuses someone else. So it affects the entire family, and it affects the environment. It affects your neighbors. You know, my neighbors would hear what was going on in our house, but no one ever came and knocked on our door and said, hey, are you okay? Or, hey, is everything okay? How can we help? And I understand that neighbors, you know, oh, well, you know, that's not my problem, or, you know, I don't want to get into it, which is understandable in a sense, but we have to be more caring. We have to be more, you know, aware and present ourselves as neighbors. So even if something like that is going on, I'm not here to judge you. I'm not here to snatch your kids out, but I'm here to help make your home a better home. You know, how can I help you? You know, whether it is taking the kids and doing dinner for them. You know, we can't always just turn our back. See how we can help. You know, maybe the person that's being abused, maybe she needs extra money, whether it's $10 or $100. If you have it, you know, give it. Maybe she needs a ride. Maybe she needs clothes because she had to get out of there, you know, really quick. Maybe she just needs a shoulder to cry on. Somebody to really listen and not judge her. Whatever it is, she's affected. If she has children, the children are affected, and even the abuser is affected.
Yes. And I think it's important to talk about the children's perspective because they grow up thinking that it's normal, you know, unless they see it on the outside, they think that's a normal behavior. I know I did.
Yeah, and I don't know if I thought it was normal. I remember just being so afraid. You know, I was expected to get good grades all the time, and good grades is great. But how can I get those good grades if I didn't get enough sleep at night.
Sure.
You know, if I'm so worried that when I get home that one of my parents may be dead.
Yes.
You know, the thinking from a child's perspective of even trying to jump in it. You know, like we teach safety planning also. And one of the biggest things we teach children, which I wish I would have been taught, but you don't jump in it because you could get
Right.
hurt. I think I got the best whipping of my life when I jumped in it. But I'm no match, you know, as a little
Sure.
kid, you know, trying. But you
But no
do
one wants
what
to see
your
their loved one
instincts. Yeah, you
get
do what
hurt.
your instincts tell you. But it could have cost me my life back then. But even now, you know, it could cost a child their life.
Absolutely. How can we support the Girls Factory?
So right now, I'm so blessed to say that we have an office. We've been
Okay.
blessed with an
Congratulations.
office. We're at Joy Road in Southfield area. And what we need right now is financial support, of course, that would help the young ladies be able to do the cooking sessions that we have for them.
Yes.
We're coming up on our coat drive. The coat drive is in December. We call it our Winter Wonderland.
Oh, that's nice. Okay.
And we, in the community, what we do is we give out 100 coats. Our girls are not just there to take. They're there to learn community service. They learn to take pride in their selves and their home and in their community.
So important.
So we're looking to just continue to receive calls from women who have a desire to share what their past trials were and how they overcame them, and then do some cooking sessions
Awesome.
with
Love
the
it.
young ladies.
What is the age group for the young ladies?
I work with young ladies ages 8 to 14.
Okay.
And then our 15 to 17, those are our older girls. So actually 8 to 17 are the girls.
That's a good age.
Yes.
Okay. And you can find all this information on your website. Do you want to
Absolutely.
do a shout out again?
Absolutely. Once again, the website is iamthegirlsfactory.org, and my telephone number is 734-286-5979.
Well, you know, it's interesting because here we had Vicky, the Bachelor and the Bachelorette, but now I see that you've co-written as well as you've written a book. Can you tell us about your books?
I sure can. Thank you so much for this opportunity. So my first book I had written during COVID, and it's called Overcome Fear Nots, Prayer Untangles, So Fear Not. This book can be purchased through Amazon. This is such a blessing to me because I literally lived a life of fear. And I know that it came from being abused as a child. The enemy chased me down with fear. The moment that I thought that I could do something, the enemy would remind me, no, you can't.
Yes.
And it stemmed from fear. So God delivered me from fear, gave me what to put in this book, and I thank God for those that purchase it. And this book was just written, Wealth Circle, The Secret Sauce. So there's 13 of us that have a chapter in this book. I am chapter 2. And my chapter is called When a Woman Forgives. It took a lot for me to start living my life. And forgiveness, because of what happened to me as a child, it took me over half my life to realize I really was not living until I forgave what happened in my childhood. And I was able to really start living. My yes to God came from this.
Amen.
Forgiveness.
And what would you say to someone going through or coming out of it? What would you say to help them navigate through the healing process or even recognizing that there's an issue or, you know, what would you say, some kind of positivity for them?
I would say love yourself. Love yourself. Be okay with what has happened in your life. Be okay that it's going to be a journey for you to start living. Be okay with being angry, being angry and working through your feelings. Latch on to positive women in your life. I want to say thank you to the women that have helped me throughout my life. I've had Dr. Sabrina Black. I've had the Kingdom Women. I've had Sharon. I've had Angela Cadwell. I thank God that he surrounded me with so many beautiful women during the worst time of my life. I know that God will give you those women just as he did for me. And healing is yours.
And you know, and in the few minutes that we have left, you mentioned a key word, and that's forgiving.
Mm-hmm.
How did you just give real quick? How did you forgive the abusers or the abuser that?
It started with just being at the lowest part of my life. I felt defeated. I felt like there was really nothing to live for because I was so angry. When I confronted my abuser, he lied. He said I was lying. And then he told other people. And that hurt me so bad. I literally felt like leaving. And God sent Sharon to me. And Sharon had me read scriptures. She told me to get out my concordance, and she told me to read the scriptures on forgiveness. And I read it the first time. I read the first scripture. I said, I already know that scripture. And then the second one I read, I said, I already know that. The third one broke me down. And in that moment, it was like God opened my eyes to something must have happened to him. In order for him to do that to somebody else, something must have happened. So I went from hating, wanting to kill, to God have mercy in that moment.
That's power.
And it was nothing but the grace of God.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, you know, we definitely would have to have you come back.
Oh, for sure.
On the show again. We've got,
I would love to.
A few more minutes left. But in the few minutes that we've got left, we probably got about a minute left, what would you say would be the one thing that you would tell anyone that's going through or that has gone through what you've gone through? What would you tell them? Just give a quick little something that you would tell somebody that's going through or went through what you're going through right now.
I could only say give it to God. Give it to God and let God heal you.
So it's important then to go and make certain that you stay prayed up and that you keep your faith in terms of saying God, and God will heal you.
Absolutely.
And
Because you
also be
deserve
able to
it.
heal the person that also was the one that committed the
Well,
atrocity.
I mean, they may never. They may never.
But we're hoping
Except-
all we can do is pray that they do.
I say don't worry about them because
Give it to God.
give it to God because your life is more important.
Understood. Well, you have been listening to Miss Kimberly Clemens, and I do thank Chief Silent Storm. And you have been watching Expose Under the Sun, sponsored by the Detroit Native Sun newspaper. If you'd like to get a copy of the Detroit Native Sun News, you can contact Ms. Valerie Lockhart at 313-457-5944. And again, thank you to Vicki Dobbins, Bachelor and the Bachelorette, and to Ms. Ruby Richards, the all-extraordinary secretary for Wayne County NAACP, Western Wayne County NAACP. Have a great rest of the afternoon.
Here at the Full and Fabulous Curvy Girl Project, we don't just focus on health, beauty, and self-esteem. We also offer an amazing summer program for young ladies ages 12 to 18. For more information, visit our website at fullandfabulous.org. See you soon.